and he's great. And Sean Wayne,
And
obviously, has
he's
been there
been
for a long
announced as
time.
leaving at the end of the year as well, hasn't he?
I don't know if it's been formally announced yet, but apparently he's going to Man City, and Matty P is rumoured to be going to the Sale Sharks. So everyone in senior positions within the play-in and performance
The football
side of
department,
things,
effectively, apart from Chris Radlinski.
go in, yeah. Which is and Chris Radlinski's found his role taken up more and more and more by the superfluous stuff around running the club that aren't necessarily the dealings with the players and the contracts and that sort of stuff, even though that falls on him just because he's had to do some of Ian Lenigan's roles, and that's kind of I think that's what's the design of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think we need to bring in someone else now to run the rugby operation a little bit more directly. But that's all for the future, all different stuff. In terms of the game, Sam Tompkins was standout, best player on the pitch. In this one, the biggest difference between the sides was tackle success. Wigan had a 10.6% better tackle success rate than their opponents. Wigan also made 3 more breaks and gave away 2 fewer penalties. Individually, Morgan Escaray, a try, 8 tackle busts, 135 metres, 2 clean breaks. And all the Wigan fans love Morgan Escaray because it's exciting to watch in attack, but boy, was he problematic in defence. And this goes back to the point I was making before about players not learning from what they can't do and not spending time doing it. Morgan Escaray still does not know where to position himself and how to organise a defensive line. And although other players were at fault
typical French, really, isn't it?
Although other players were at fault for the for like missing tackles, making bad reads and that sort of stuff on the Alric Da Costa try, which people will see on the highlights, Morgan Escaray for me is the root of that. He stayed in on a tackle too long. As the fullback, he needed to come out of that tackle as the first man out, not the last man out, and he needed then to be pushing his defenders into spaces. Instead, he picked up a place on the blind side, which wasn't necessarily the right place for him to be. He should have been half a pace behind the defensive line, telling the defenders where to go, and then that would have helped close that gap, and he would have been there as the last line of defence, where he should have been just to the open side, whereas actually found himself just to the blind side. And stuff like that, he hasn't learned, he hasn't fixed up. He hasn't watched a very, very good defensive fullback, which is what Sam Tompkins has become. He hasn't watched from that and learned, which is very frustrating because he's so entertaining going forward with the ball that it's great. Liam Marshall, a try assist, 130 metres. Tom Davies does Tom Davies stuff, 8 tackles, 191 metres. Him and Morgan Esco were denied a fantastic try between the two of them by an overzealous touch judge who was determined to try and even the scores somehow when Tony Clubb put in an absolutely textbook charging down on a kicker tackle on young Lucas Albert, who was quite impressive.
Which is something that Tony Clubb has specialised in. He's made that role his own, hasn't he? Is that because he has got that little bit of extra pace from back in his Wigan centre days. He does really get and intimidate the kicker. Because if you saw Tony Clubb charging that, you'd be you wouldn't be wearing white shorts, would you?
So Clubby jumps out of dummy half, right? He gets to Lucas Albert before he's actually kicked the ball. His tackle wraps Lucas Albert up. You can see from the footage that he actually goes under both arms of Lucas Albert, so you can't say he's gone over the top. Maybe his head or his jaw or his chest or somewhere contacted the head a little bit incidentally, but it was a perfect form tackle, right around the right part around the guy's chest. The ball was kicked after Clubb had made his initial contact, but the touch judge pelted onto the pitch when Wigan were going to go and score this try to make sure that Scott Michalauskas pulled this one back, and it was what gave him the penalty to go 20-all and made the last 5 minutes nervous, last 15 minutes actually quite nervous really. So that was frustrating because it would have been an absolutely beautiful, brilliant try between the two of them. Braden Williami 112 metres, Ian Thornley 111 metres. He had a really good break that he couldn't capitalise on, and that was one instance where Morgan did defend well, so credit to him there. Greg Bird 114 metres, Julian Busquets 108 metres. Okay, final game of the weekend was played on Sunday. Widnes made a great start to this one, but were on the losing end. It finished up Castleford 54, Widnes 24 in front of 4,218 at the Select Security Stadium in Widnes. Liam Moore was your referee, and Neil McEwen was the first one to get in touch, Tim.
Yeah, Neil McEwen said, "Wow, that was awful. 20 minutes leading, 12-4, then absolutely collapsed and let Cass run in. Tries for fun. We've some mentally weak players at the minute who shouldn't wear the shirt again, like Hanbury, Haraki, Marsh, etc. Worrying moment when Ollie Holmes burst through and Hanbury couldn't keep up. Lazy cunt."
Paul O'Brien said, well, at the beginning there was hope, and then 4 tries in 4 attacks killed any hope of victory. Simbin in 3 minutes was a joke, deserved a penalty but nothing more. Officials were poor today, but nothing takes away from how bad the Vikings were.
And finally, Fatboy Rob says, a comfortable win in the end for the champions who finished the regular season in 3rd place with half a team, brackets 1 season wonders my arse. A tries, well, we'll see come the end of the season. A try-scoring blitz in each half put the game beyond Widnes with a hat-trick for Eden and a brace for QLT. The new boy Pete had a solid debut for Cass in place of the old man Webster. Finn and Hansen look good for Widnes on debut. I have a sneaking suspicion they will stay up. When someone says the new boy Pete, it just reminds me of Red Dwarf and the T-Rex. But you might not get that one.
I'm scratching around in my memory for that one. I've watched a lot of Red Dwarf, but I don't remember T-Rex.
It was a canary that became the T-Rex, thanks to Curry.
Fair enough. Yeah, it was that period because it went to on the Simbin on Christian Inu. It looked to me like a dangerous tackle, so I've not got too many qualms with it. It looked like he got the guy into a bad position and he landed on the head neck area. They got to that, but they weathered that period pretty well. They only conceded 1 try. Then were actually leading at the end of that period thanks to superior goal kicking. Then they went to 12-4 up, did the Vikings, on the 17th minute, but on the 23rd, 26th, 28th, 30th minute, so the 4 attacks in a row, that QLT and Greg Eden inspired Castleford side scored some great tries. I mean, try of the week, definitely QLT's one.
That QLT one that he set up, made himself.
McMeekin, yeah.
And interlocked and then picked it back up again. Yeah, fantastic try, and I think that'll be one for the highlight reel. Although he's got quite a one developing already himself.
The Holmes try did stand out for me as well in what Neil was saying about Hambury. It did look like he didn't go full tilt. I know that he's been in and out of the side with injury, so maybe that's playing a part of it. Maybe his heart's not in it for some reason or another as well. Because I've always loved Reece Hambury. I've always enjoyed watching him play, but he did look half-arsed. So I'm not sure what mitigation was there around injuries and that sort of stuff. But yeah, Hansen scored on debut for them though, so there's promise there certainly. And there was a nice kick from Liam Finn for Pat Arvan's second try in this game, so a few touches of promise for the Widnes fans, even though they go into the qualifiers on one hell of a losing run.
Do you think they'll stay up, really? Do you think the slide will arrest? Because I can only see them. I can see them going down now, even with this sticking plaster put on.
Because Lee didn't make the top 4, because I don't think Halifax or London quite have the squad capability to be consistent against the level up opposition. It all really hinges for me on 2 things. One of those 2 things is whether Toulouse can defend as well as they can attack in this period of the game, and whether they can attack as well against Super League opposition as they have done against Championship opposition, and also then who is at home in the £1 million game. The £1 million game will be hosted, I strongly feel, in either Lamport Stadium, the Select Security Stadium, or the AJ Bell Stadium, and I think whoever's at home in those conditions are going to have a huge advantage.
Well, if it's at Toronto, they've got a massive advantage.
And then Widnes have the advantage as well of being more familiar with their playing surface. It played into the hands of their second try in this game. Actually, if you watch it
might injure a few people as well while it's there. The deadly eye pitch, yeah.
And also Salford have, under Watson, been a very good home side compared to an away side. So I think there's a situation there that'll play itself out during the qualifiers. So I wouldn't write them off necessarily, but I don't expect them to cruise through the qualifiers as they have done in previous journeys to level of competition. With 84% tackle success and 875 metres, you aren't going to win a Super League game. Widnes know that already, so it came to be again this week. Cass, who made over 500 more metres at 3 metres per carry better average gain, that's because of how many 100-metre carries they had, made 15 clean breaks, which is the joint most by a side this year in Super League. Individually, Greg Eden, 3 tries, and a wonderful try assist, in fact, 235 metres, 4 clean breaks. Quinton Laulu Tonga 2 tries, 6 tackles, 139 metres, 3 clean breaks. Oliver Holmes, 1 try, 7 tackles, 131 metres, 2 clean breaks, 3 offloads. A clean game, no missed tackles, no errors, no penalties for him. Jake Truman, 1 try, 3 try assists, 7 tackle busts. For the Widnes side, Danny Walker tried to tackle everything as best as he could, bless him, the little kid. 45 tackles for him. Liam Finn, 3 try assists, so promise there. And Pat Arvan, 2 tries, 6 tackle busts, 3 clean breaks. That takes us on to wrap up the final standings, really. Things in the regular season finished with St Helens well clear on 42 out of a possible 46 points. Wigan finished
which is
second.
Phenomenal, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Wigan finished
over that many games. You know, you'd expect them to lose another 3 of those.
They've got out of jail a few times, but people say that's a sign of a good side too. Wigan finished second with 32 points, 1 ahead of third place Castleford on 31. Warrington make up the top 4 with the extra home games. They carried 29 points into the Super 8s. Huddersfield managed to rise to 5th after 23 rounds, where they were 12th after 13 rounds, like we said before. They finished 5th despite a minus 202 points difference. That is phenomenal. Just bonkers. Hull FC are in 6th, they have 22 points. Wakefield and Catalan make up the top 8, both on 21 points. Leeds, Hull KR, Salford and Widnes finish the regular season in the bottom 4. Predictions, Subaru Dream Team updates. Tim, I stumbled again, 4 out of 6 for me. I'm on to 96. You caught up again with back in your own side. It took you to 5 out of 6 for your predictions, Tim, and that means it's 94 to the co-host, so the gap is down to 2 as we head into the final stages of the season. In Subaru, Hutch stays top, although Mark McCartney, I think, is a Salford fan. He's closing the gap on him. He's risen to 2nd there. And Mark W retains his yellow cap this week. And in the Dream Team, Alan Bagley stays top and had a strong week, scoring 683 points. Although it was Mark W who had the best weekly score in the league of 729 points. He did describe his Dream Team performances as being very much Huddersfield Giants. Injury hampered, kind of diluted the interest in the early parts of the season, but once he saw an opportunity to get the right men into the side, it's clicked into gear and now he's rising into the top 10 or so. There, okay. That was meant to be quick, Tim, and we still did over an hour, so we're fucking useless at speeding up through these sections. This is going to be a very long
It's your fault for having a half an hour rant about Wigan.
Yeah. Other results time.
You had it in 2 stages.
Yeah. We'll move on to other results now anyway. Other results then, sponsored by jkmartwork.com. Check out jkmartwork.com. Are you alright, Tim?
Yeah, I'm just getting a cookie.
Getting a cookie.
Got to keep my stamina up. It's a long game.
Check out jkmartwork.com, where you can buy prints, canvases and more of James's stadium paintings. All UK Super League clubs are covered, and a couple of clubs outside Super League 2, as well as football stadiums, cricket grounds and more. JKM Artwork can help you find the perfect gift for the sports fan in your life. Okay, Championship. It was round 23 there. Things were decided, and on Saturday the first thing was decided. Toulouse 44, Dewsbury 18. It was closer in the first half than Toulouse maybe were hoping for, but they pulled away in the second half to secure their top 4 place. On Saturday later on, well, actually only a little bit later on, because it was an early kickoff for Toronto's Fan Appreciation Day. Yep. It finished Toronto 12, Featherstone Rovers 30. A couple of people got in touch. Do you want to take us through those views?
Yep. Brian Davies said, this match looked like a taster of what's to come for Toronto. Quinn N, that's Quinn the Garty, made his season debut and started the game. So it was great to see the Canadian get a good run. Fev were tough and played a smart game to break the flow and prevent Toronto from getting on a roll. And then the inevitable Wolfpack penalties, and Fev were able to keep the score ticking along. The Super League sides won't worry about going to Toronto now. Fantastic result for Featherstone, that one.
Yeah, a positive way to round out what has been a ultimately disappointing last few weeks for them. Toronto had a lot of people out, like Genghis Campbell covered.
We haven't done that yet, because I started talking about it before we did that. Yeah, you better do that one.
Oh yeah, okay. Noah O'Brien. I thought you'd done it. I was totally.
Yeah, so would I.
Noah O'Brien, Lussick, Wallace, Olsey, Kay, Worthington, Higson, or Russell may have had a difference, but couldn't swear to it. Fev came over to applaud their awesome fans pre-game, and you could tell they weren't going to be the usual sacrificial victims. Excellent line speed and commitment from the visitors, and they never looked like they were going to lose. 8,200 witness history, and any Canadian complacency is gone. Yeah, they did leave out a lot of players, a lot of important players.